If you are watching this video, you might be a cancer survivor yourself, or you just might know a friend, a family member who is a cancer survivor. And this video is just for you, and I really hope that in whatever way this video helps you. So I've got some notes on my machine, so I'll be doing a lot of up and down because I'm reading the points which I have. So let me start with my background. I'm a DLBCL non-Hodgkin's lymphoma type 2 cancer survivor. This October, I'm shooting this video on 16th of September, and on October 10th of 2024, I will complete 2 years in remission. So a little more background on that. I got diagnosed with the type 2 DLBCL non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in August of 2022. So it's been 2 years now. So August of 2022, I got diagnosed with it. Did 3 cycles of chemotherapy. In October, did the second scan. It was completely negative. So we didn't have any signs, or nothing was showing up, or nothing was glowing up on the PET scan. So all good in October. We did another 3 cycles of chemotherapy because you need to destroy all the blood cells, right? All the dangerous blood cells. So did another 3 cycles in January of 2023. Another PET scan, everything clear. 5 months after that, in June of 2023, did another PET scan. Everything was again clear in there. I haven't done any PET scan in 2024, but had my consultation with my doctor back in India. Went for consultation here too. So I think I'll be doing another PET scan in December of 2024. So it's been a year, almost a year that I've not done a PET scan, and everything is so far so good. So that's good. And this is out of nowhere. I just decided to make a video from the things I've learned as a survivor, and I myself couldn't find any solid resources that how your mental state is once you're a cancer survivor. How do you handle going back into life? Because that is like really important. So I didn't have resources myself, so I was like, you know what, let me make a video, let me just put it out there. If it's gonna help someone, that'll be really great. You're not talk about the treatment or the procedure, nothing. You are an expert about that, about what happened. What we're going to talk about is what now? What do you do now? How do you handle yourself and start to look at the future again? And that is really important. Again, this is the second chance that life has given you. So, how do you proceed? So, this is the first point I would like to talk about, the future. Because we have been stuck in this loop of like thinking, worrying, focusing on the treatment. We just lose perspective. The person which you were before the treatment is not the same person after the treatment. The plans you had before getting that bad news completely go away. The future plans. Let me give my example, right? So I was 22 years old, 23 years old, yeah, and 2023, just turned 23 actually. So 23 years old, born in 1999, freshly graduated. I was about to resign from my first job because I was gonna go and do my graduate degree. So I was in the notice period, and this is what I had in mind. I'll do my graduate degree for like 2 years, then I'll go and I'll get a job for, and this is long term I'm talking, right? I'm gonna get a job, then maybe I'll get married in my late 20s, then maybe I'll have a nice house in my late 30s to 40s, nice career, maybe I'll start a business, maybe I'll do something, maybe I'll do something which I like, maybe I'll travel a lot, and if I'm lucky, I'll live till 80, 90, whatever. So we had that perspective, right? I had that future perspective. I can look into the future. And you can say, oh, I can travel anytime I want. If not today, maybe somewhere on, I'll have the money, I'll go and do the things. So I had that perspective. But once I got the news that, you know what, you have cancer, and everyone started throwing, like mostly the doctors and nurses, the statistics at your face. Oh, this is the percent of it coming back. This is the percent of it being cured. And you also yourself go and read the articles and you do the research yourself. And definitely Google is your worst enemy. Don't do that. But you read, right? I personally read a lot. I read research papers. I was looking at p-values, this, that, and it was throwing percentages at me. And that felt really bad. Because you are a person. You are a complex human being. You are not binary. We don't think in binary. We don't think in zeros and ones, right? So you have 70% chance of survival. Doesn't mean anything to me. So being in that stage, my future like perspective, whatever the perspective I had, already tanked a lot. It like went down by a lot. And I started thinking like months. I was started thinking in like chemo cycles. Oh, you know what? I need to do my next chemo cycle, and then chemo cycle after that. That is what I need to focus on. And that what exactly happened. Once I got that news, I was definitely happy. Yes, we are happy. But then we have lost so much. We have learned so much, but we have lost so much. We have lost that future perspective. And that is something I really needed to work on. That is something I still work on today. And these are the few signs that I can share for you too, but it might help you. The first thing first, the perspective which I had, oh, you know what, I'll have this at this age, then yeah, sure, fine. But that perspective was flawed at its very root, because life doesn't work that way. And I guess I was too naive to think in that way. But I suppose we all have some sort of plans. So I did that. You might have some different idea of how the future looks like. Your perspective might be completely different. You might already be looking at life in small installments. So if that something works for you, and that is something which is working for you, you're good to go. But what I'll suggest is, instead of looking like me at the future for a longer run, instead of doing that, what we should do is look at it like in installments. Oh, you know what? These are the things I'm going to do in like next 6 months or maybe a year. That is what I'm focusing on. I don't go beyond that, because I did go beyond that once and definitely didn't go according to my plan. But yeah, 6 months is what I think about. Oh, these are the things which are achievable in next 6 months, maybe a year. So that is what I'm gonna focus on. One more thing is, and this might be just my personal experience, when I start to think about like way far down the road, like 3 years, 5 years maybe, uh, if you're given an interview, you get asked this question a lot, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay. And I tell them my sob story. So that's sad. Okay, we're not talking about that. Okay, so this is my personal experience. When I go beyond 3 years, 5 years in terms of thinking, one fear I get the most is the fear of relapse. I think, and I get worried. Oh, you know what? I might just relapse, and there's no point of doing anything. For example, if you're saving for a house, maybe, or something, you're saving for something, or you're planning to have like kids, and you'll be like, oh, what if the relapse happen? That's the exact reason I don't go beyond 6 months. I don't go beyond a year, because that is something really feasible. You can achieve short term goals. And if I was the same person like me, but just minus whatever happened to me, minus the cancer, I would have never done that. I would be like, you know what? Let's think about this a few years down the line. Right now, let's focus if we can do this in the next 6 months. Let's focus if we can do this in a year. And that is how I've managed myself. And if you have a different perspective, you can definitely go for it. For me, I look at time like a line, right? You do this, then you do that, then it's a straight line. It keeps on going. For some people, it's a loop, right? You start from January, you go to December, you again start from January. So whatever works for you, you need to create some sort of future which you can look at and which feels like you can achieve it. Okay, second point, and this is like really, really important. It like hinges kinda on the first point, not really. I'm not sure. This is we sit on extremes. Okay, the first extreme, and the first extreme is, you know what, I the cancer, and I survived it, and this is the only life I've got, so I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna take those trips, I'm gonna do everything which is out of my comfort zone. And extreme, like extreme, these are the things you would never do if you would not have gone through the circumstances you went through. That's the extreme number one. Just hold this thought, okay? This is the extreme number one. Extreme number two is you don't do anything because you're too scared. You're too scared that the cancer might relapse. You're too scared of doing anything to your body. You know what? What if I do this? What if I eat this? The cancer might come back. So that's the other extreme. One more point in this side is your life decisions. Every single life decision is based on what will happen to you. You are gonna go to a trip or you're gonna take that next step in your life, but you're not doing that just because what happened to you. So that's another extreme. One is like, okay, I'm going to go all in and I'm just gonna enjoy. The other extreme is you're not doing anything, being too scared. The solution, and this is my perspective, people have their own. You need to have a balance. A balance is really important. So the solution to the first thing, I'm talking about the balance, right? Do the things. Go ahead, do the things. Do the things you always wanted to do. Only if those things are financially feasible, they are health wise. I didn't mean to. I don't know what that was. Okay, so the things are financially feasible, the things are feasible health wise and family wise. So if these things, three things checks out, go ahead and do that. For example, oh, I always wanted to do skydiving. Go ahead and do that. Can you afford it? Maybe not right now, but maybe I can save for it. Is it affecting your family? Is it affecting your health? Oh, no, not. Do I have the money? Maybe I have the money. Go ahead and do it. Great. But if I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what? I never drank in my life, So now I have survived this shit. Let me go and have drinks. And I'm gonna drink a lot. And I'm gonna drink till I enjoy the F out of it. Now that is an extreme. It affects your health. It does affect you financially. So need to have balance in the extremes. You need to manage financials because hey, you gotta live, right? You gotta live. You don't know when you're gonna die. No one knows, right? You are not exceptional. So you gotta live. You gotta pay your rent. You gotta pay your bills. You need to work on that. So that balance is really important. On the other hand, the other extreme, let me give you my example. I was too scared to do my masters, which I told you before that I just left my job and I was planning to come for my masters, and a month before my flight, I got diagnosed with DLBCL. So it was a shit show all in all, but it made me scared. I was super scared because for the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, like my prognosis were you got like 20-ish% chance. I hate percentages, by the way, because of this. I got 20% chance that the cancer might come back within the first 2 years. So 2024, right now, October, and that was 2022. So within these 2 years, the cancer might come back. It hasn't. Look at me, sitting right in front of you, making the video. But I was too scared of that sentence. And as I'm coming to another country, I'm changing everything, right? You're changing your culture, you're changing the language you speak, you're changing your food, you're changing the weather, you're changing your doctors, you're changing the entire healthcare. I was back in India, so everything was quite cheap. Right now, I'm in the States, so healthcare here is really expensive. So having that conflict with myself, I was too scared, too scared. And then I don't know where I found this out. There was an article where this person was saying he was a cancer survivor himself. He's like, you give me any reason, you give me any reason in the world, okay, of not doing the things. You cannot do that thing because for A, you're not capable of it. B, you don't like it. Or C, you don't want to do it. Okay? There should not be a fourth reason. You know what? I had this thing. I had this bad thing happen to me, and that's why I'm not gonna do anything. That should not be the reason. And that just opened my eyes. And I just from that moment, if I meet like a cancer survivor, I tell these things. If something or if this thing, what happened to you, is stopping you from doing something for your future, taking that next step, that's not the reason. Because you will be stuck in the loop forever. You cannot guess what's gonna happen to you. What after like 2 years? What if I would have stayed back in India, didn't pursue my graduate degree? I'll graduate next year. What if I had done that? Cancer would have not come back, and I would have been stuck there in that period of my life. And now I'm thinking about it, it sounds not so good, right? It's not really good to get stuck. So if you're giving this reason as, oh, I'm a survivor, I went through this thing, and my past is stopping me from taking the next step, then you should reconsider things. This might not be true for everyone. I understand that there are all types of people, all types of patients out there. There are old people who are going through what I have gone through. Not everyone has that option. But if you have, and you're giving that as a reason, you should probably think again. Okay, third point. Okay, I am speaking for so long now. It's 1 in the morning, and I'm speaking for so long. I still got like 2 points. I've just written 2 points over there. And I think that this video is going to be super long, but I'm just sharing my thoughts. Okay, third point is we tend to forget what we went through. This is like really easy, and whoever has gone through like cancer treatment, you are a survivor. Make the lowest point in your life. That's the lowest point in your life. You can't go lower. If you can, I don't have anything to say, but that was the lowest point in our lives, right? Just make that point as your anchor. Okay, nothing can beat it. Okay, everything you do, everything you experience is just going to be an upstream, right? So whenever you feel like you're not good enough, whenever you feel like, oh, you're not doing good enough, or you're not doing anything, you feel like you're stuck, take a B and just remember where you were, how much journey you have been through, how much journey you did, and what you survived. And this is the thing. This is I just do. For me, when I'm in like really hard situations and when I feel really bad about myself, it can be anything. It can be work. It can be studies. It can be anything. Relationship. That's not my worst point. I know what my worst point was. When I was admitted, I used to get admitted for like 2 days to do my chemotherapy. I did that 6 times. So 12 days I was in hospital. More for like blood test and stuff. But that night when I used to get my treatment, I used to see the saline drip. I hated every single moment of it. Every single moment of it, I hated. So that was my lowest point. Nothing can beat that. And suddenly, I get lifted up. Whatever I was feeling, I was bashing myself, or whatever I was doing, like today, in the present, it just goes away because my anchor is really strong. I know what I've been through. I know I can go through anything. So make that point. We all have such points. Okay, it doesn't have to be cancer related. It can be anything, but make that as your anchor. It will really help. Final point. Finally, oh my god, this video is going to be like half an hour. I don't know. Okay. Fourth point. Don't forget the people who were there for you. Okay, never forget those people. For me personally, my mom has passed away. My dad and my sister. These two people were constantly there for me. They would do anything. And this is the time when you go through the worst of your times, you get to know people. There were like 6 chemo cycles, and I needed to get admitted 6 times into the hospital, right? Every single day, my dad was there for me, and every single night, my sister used to sleep besides me in the hospital. And that's tough. Seeing your brother going through this, and you need to be there for the support system while you're going through something else. People have problems, right? I get that. I used to understand that. So I've seen that. I know that that might be really hard for her, but still, she managed. She pushed through it, and she was there for me. And these are the people you really cherish. That's the people that's the people, that's the family, that's the friend circle you always want to keep close. So if you got someone like that, they really care for you, and you should really care for them. Yeah, that's a lot of talking. I really hope that this video reaches the right audience, and hopefully it helps someone. Because I literally like put this mic on, put my camera on, and I was like, you know what? Let me just record what I am, what I have gone through, and how I am coping. I'm still coping, right? I don't have answers to everything. I still have my ups and downs, but those are the few things which have helped me. So I was like, why just not share these things with our fellow survivors? So if you know someone who is like survivors, send these tips, and I hope that this video really helped. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.